Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make the skimmer. The first thing that we're going to lay out is our main body part. If you're using a piece of paper that is 8.5 by 11, then this part will be a bit simpler. If you'll notice, our paper is exactly 11 inches all the way across. So the only thing I want to do is measure down 4 inches from the top of the paper on the left and right hand side. So if I line up my ruler, and I'm going to use pen today so you guys can see this a little bit more clearly. I'm going to line up my ruler and I'm going to measure down 1, 2, 3, 4 inches and make a small little mark. Okay? And I'm going to do the same thing on the right hand side. Measure down 4 inches and make a little mark. Okay? So now I have 2 marks at the 4-inch setting, and I'm going to line them up with my ruler, and I'm going to draw a line all the way across my entire 11-inch paper. Okay, now I have a box that measures 11 inches by 4 inches. Easy enough. Another requirement on our skimmer is to measure over 3 inches where the back of our skimmer will go down. So I'm going to put my ruler right on my line that I just drew, and I'm going to make a little tiny mark at the 3-inch mark. Okay, I'm going to move up a little bit, and I'm going to do the same thing towards the top of my paper. I'm going to make a little 3-inch mark. Okay, I'm going to move my ruler vertically, and I'm going to connect the 3-inch marks that I just made. Okay, and again, this is going to be the part of our skimmer that goes down towards the ground so that when the skimmer is traveling along the floor, the air will push down on the back of the skimmer, keeping the tail from flopping up. The next thing we need is our edges. So the edges are a 1/2 inch in from both sides of the skimmer. So the easy way to do this is put your ruler on the left hand side of your main body panel and make a small mark at the 1/2 inch mark, which is in between 0 and 1. And I'm going to do the same thing below. So I will go to the 3.5 inch mark, which is right by the 4, and make a little mark. So I measured up 1/2 inch and down 1/2 inch. And you can see my 2 markings right there. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the right hand side. So I'll go over here to the right. I'm going to line up my ruler. I'm going to make a little mark at the 1/2 inch on the top and a 1/2 inch at the bottom. So I have 4 total dots, and now all I have to do is connect them. Now on our skimmer, when we make this, the portion at the front, well actually the back of the skimmer back here where this 3-inch block is, needs a solid line because this is going to be a cut line. So I'm going to fill it in all the way. The rest of the way is going to be what is called a fold line or a score line. So I'm going to make it a dotted line just by lifting my pen as I go all the way down the length of the entire body of the skimmer. Okay, and there we go. There's our score or fold line. Now I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to line up the 2 1/2 inch marks that I had made. The first portion is going to be a solid line. The next portion is going to be a dotted line or a fold line or a score line. There we go. That is my main body panel of my skimmer. Now would be a time where you could decorate it and color on it and add whatever decals you would want to. Okay? The next thing we're going to focus on are the 2 fins. And the easiest way to do these is to go to this left-hand corner of my paper. It's nice and square, so we just have a couple measurements to put there. When looking at the instructions, the fins are 3 by 3, and then they have a diagonal portion. So let's start off with the 3 by 3. I'm going to line my ruler up down here in the lower left-hand corner all along my paper, and I'm going to make a mark at 3 inches. Okay? I'm also going to make a mark by lining up the ruler on the left-hand side of my paper, and I'm going to make a little 3-inch mark up here. Okay? Now, the instructions say you need to have a 1/2 inch line going up and a 1/2 inch line going over for your fin. So that's easy enough to do. You can just line up your ruler however you'd like. Let's just make 1 inch on there. And I'm going to mark 1 inch line, or half inch line, I'm sorry. A half inch line. So there's a half inch line right there. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to try to make this one as straight as possible. And I'm going to measure over a half inch right here. Okay. So the next thing that I have to do is just connect that with a diagonal line. And you can do that by lining up your ruler, connecting the 2 points, taking your writing utensil, and drawing a diagonal line. Okay, that is one of my 2 fins. Okay, and you could decorate these as well. So I'll write fin on there. Number 1. And you don't have to do that. I'm just doing that for you guys. All right, I can draw one more fin very easily. Since I already know this is a half inch right here, I can just measure over 3 inches. So I'm going to put it on 0 down here. I'm going to make a mark at 3 inches. There we go. And I need to go up 3 inches. So put my ruler straight. I'm going to make my 3 inch line. There we go. And just like the other one, I need to measure over half an inch. So I can put my ruler along the whole paper. I can kind of use the top of this other fin to make sure it's straight. Okay. I'm going to put it right on this other one. And it's currently at the 6 inch mark. I need to go down half an inch, which would put me at 5 1/2. And I'm going to draw a little line. There we go. Now to get that diagonal, I'll just line it up and connect the dots. Now I have fin number 2. Looking pretty good. I have my main body panel and my 2 fins, all in under 7 minutes. The last thing I need is my air scoop. Now this one's going to be a bit more challenging. I'm going to zoom in a little bit with my dock cam so you can see it a little more clearly. I still have this extra room to work in the lower right hand corner. So let's put the air scoop right there. The air scoop is a 3x3 box and it has a trapezoidal shape. So what it's going to end up looking like is this trapezoid and some straight lines going straight down. Okay, so that's a rough sketch of what we're aiming for here. So let's do some measuring. First off, I'm going to line up my ruler down here at the bottom so you can see it easily. Okay, hopefully you have done the same thing. Now for this portion, it says to measure over 3/8 of an inch. So my ruler's upside down. So 3/8 is 1/8 is right here, 2/8 and 3/8. Okay, this is an 1/8 inch ruler. Let me flip it over so you can see a little bit more clearly. I'm lining up my ruler. I can line up where 3/8 is. Okay, right here. You can see the eights pretty clearly down here. 1, 2, 3. And I'll make a mark. Okay, let's do the same thing at the top. 3/8. Okay, from there, the main portion of the hood scoop is 3 inches across. So I'm going to go 3 inches across down here. Okay, might as well make one at the top too. Alright, then on the other side is another 3 inch mark, 3/8 inch mark. So I'm going to line that up right there. I'm going to make a little 3/8 inch mark. So I got a lot of dots going on here now, so let's try to line them up a little bit. First off, I'm going to make some vertical lines. These were my 3 inch marks, and I'm going to draw a faint vertical line. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay. Now, let's measure up 3 inches on both lines, because the total height of our hood scoop is 3 inches. So there's 3 on this side, 3 on the other side. Let's connect those 2 dots. And there we go. Now, the bottom portion that I made is 3/8. This side is 3/8. Now, the top portion that comes over is 1/8 on each side. So let's line up the ruler again. And if I measure out just a little bit, if you can see in there, I have just 1/8 sticking off. So I'll put a little dot there. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. 1/8, little tiny dot. There we go. Okay, now what you can do is connect those dots with your triangle, with your ruler, and it makes a diagonal. I'm going to connect it up here. Okay, and then on the other side, same thing. This one goes from the corner up to the dot that I just drew. So corner to the dot. And connect. Okay, so this portion that I just drew is our air scoop. Alright, let's zoom back out. There are our 4 main parts for our skimmer. I think you'll have an easy time with the body up here. The body panel is pretty straightforward. The fins are relatively straightforward as well, not too difficult. Then the air scoop may give you a little bit of a challenge. So just take your time on it, double check your measurements before you draw your lines. That's all I have for now. Good luck.